Well, apparently I'm live already. If anybody's going to be here, it doesn't look like anyone's here. So I may be talking to a few audience. Uh, I've been trying to see if I can do a live again for a little bit. I had one scheduled for yesterday. I ended up canceling it not long after I scheduled it. So anyway, welcome to Living and Active. My name is Leland. This is a Living and Active live gathering weekend edition live stream. And like I said, this is a trial. I've been feeling not well for the last couple of weeks. And so I took a break. I stepped back from doing videos. Well, another part of the reason why I haven't been doing any video uploads is because the last video I tried to do um, was I dropped the video camera a couple times in the process of um, editing it and uploading it, and I busted it up pretty good, and so it corrupted or damaged or whatever the drive, and so it just wouldn't do anything decent in terms of videos. So I threw the camera away. I said I'm not going to um, replace the camera. And the other thing I've been running into is that I've been noticing that the longer I keep my Ethernet plugged in, um, the worse I feel, the worse my headache gets, the foggier my thinking is, the less I'm able to focus or concentrate on moving from task to task or whatever. So I've been leaving uh my Wi-Fi unplugged for longer and longer periods of time, and I've actually been able to get more things done in the real world here in my living space than I was before. But so that's where I've been, what I've been doing. I don't know if anyone's going to come here because I've been kind of back and forth with even my own channel, but like, okay, well, I'm cutting way back to I'm not doing any more content to maybe I'll do something and then I try to set up to do it and then having to cancel it or reschedule it. So people may be so fed up with me by now that they're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. We'll watch the replay after it's done if you do one. And that would be perfectly fair. I mean, to be honest, that would be absolutely fair. Uh, I don't I don't take anyone else's time lightly, and I don't want to be disrespectful of anyone's time. But we're gonna hang out here for a few minutes, see if anybody shows up, and then if anybody does, it's going to be an open discussion, open topic, whatever, just to reconnect with some of the people that I had just gotten used to being able to interact with regularly on the live streams and everything. Or maybe random strangers wander by, see the lights on, and poke their head in to see what's up. It could be any of those two things. But yeah, I've told a couple people that I would try to do something like this, that I might even actually be stepping all over somebody else's live stream for this evening. I'm not sure. I don't remember everyone's schedules for when they have their own live stream, so I might be talking to dead air because some other channel that's doing better has their own show going on, and that is also as it should be. But we'll see. Uh, I didn't have anything planned for if nobody showed up, so I don't have anything to keep anybody occupied with. that I can think of off the top of my head if it's just me in an empty chat room sitting here talking. I figured there would be at least one people to wander by, but again, I absolutely understand why no one has. Oy, probably give it a few more minutes. I don't know. I want to give time for people to be like, oh, hey, uh, Leland's on, he's live. Let's go see what he's talking about. Or people might see the thumbnail in their news feeds and be like, nope, no one else is there. I'm not going. So we are in the room that I was going to do or that I did the Midnight Chapel live stream from when I had big plans of and delusions of grandeur that I was going to launch multiple themes of live streams. I was going to do the Midnight Chapel series of live streams from this room just because it was a change of setting from the room I was doing the other live streams in. But that space is currently filled with the disassembled remnants of what used to be motorized 1920 something Singer something or other. Singer 99 actually that I put into my new shiny mend and make do station. And for those of you who will come across this video, if you don't know what that is, I've written a couple posts about it in the post tab because that's where posts go. It's got kind of a slow burn project I've been working on for the last quite a few months. Just slowly cobbling together a fairly comprehensive um, workstation from a bunch of randomly assembled components from other workstations, machines, whatever. And it's coming along nicely. There's still a few things that I need to do to it before it gets completely serviceable, but it's functioning now. I actually mounted the machine that came out of the mess that's on my workbench right now into the workstation, and I used that machine to sew the entire cover, cloth cover that I put over the wood, um, the random unbranded wooden sewing machine case top that I had from a machine that came to me all busted up. The base was all busted up, so I just had this wooden top that didn't go to anywhere with anything. So I took that and I put it on top of the workstation and I made a fabric covering for it. Um, so that's what I've been up to. Just working on those kinds of things, trying to get things rearranged in my house since this is living active and I have to be both, whether I'm inside or outside. Trying to get my living space better organized to support actually breaking my big instrument, my hammer dulcimer, out of its winter hibernation, getting it set up for the season, and having space to move around and do things. So that's been a slow and ongoing process. Um, so anyway, what these live streams are meant to do is to just to provide, if I can keep doing them, if big if um what they're meant to do is to be a space for people to, uh, as scripture says, sort of bear one another's burdens. or not. And just enjoy having each other's company and being um, mutually reciprocating in just contact and communication, whatever. Giving opportunity for serious conversations if they need to happen, but not necessarily forcing serious conversations if what's needed is to just hang out and be light and comfortable uh, for a while in a world that is undoubtedly going absolutely insane as we speak, like time now. But just to eat up a little bit more time, to give people a chance to show up before I sign off on this and call it a placeholder and say, okay, people can leave their comments here as to what they think I should do about trying to pursue the live streams or whatever. If this does continue, um, I do keep the hey, somebody is here. I do keep the live chat replay active on these things. So if you're going to come in the live chat, just be mindful of what you say, be deliberate with what you say. I'm not telling you to censor yourself, but just know that people are going to see it long after this thing is published and produced or whatever, and it goes live. It's going to be in a live replay. So if you say something in chat that you regret, look over to the far right of your comment. You're going to see three dots stacked on top of each other. Click on that, and you'll see an option to retract, remove, uh, or whatever your comment. And you choose that option, and then your comment is stricken from the public record, as it were. So now that you know to do that, if you don't do that and you say something off in chat, everybody's going to know about it. Fair warning. Um, what I was trying to do when I had these going more regularly was to put a link in the description of the current live stream to the one before it. I didn't do that with this one just because there's a huge disconnect um, between. I mean, I don't even know how long it's been since I've done a live stream. So there's no continuity right now, so I'm not going to try to pretend and artificially create continuity by doing all of those things. Um, Another big thing that's happened in the last couple of weeks. Hey, there's two people here. Hello to both of you, whoever you are. Um, Another thing that's been happening, and I sort of need to undo all of the work I did at the beginning of the year. Uh, it just became too much to sustain driving around to the two other towns to do the actual live gathering things with nobody in attendance. If people had been going, it would have been fine. Now there's three. Excellent. Good to see all of you here. Uh, so I need to do due diligence with the other venue, with the one here in Fenimore that's still being built, um, and bringing everybody up to speed and probably pulling down a few flyers where I've had flyers put up. But the Living and Active live gatherings, actual in-person gatherings, um, scheduled indoors, structured, all that, those have been sort of deplatformed, as it were. But I have made myself available as a point of contact where people want to meet up at those places or other places, whatever, just to have someone to interact with or whatever and discuss things between people with a shared experience like disability or whatever, then that can happen. So the living and active work can go on without the drain on um, like my energy and resources, especially with gas prices going to where they're going. It's kind of expensive to keep driving back and forth to those towns and everything else just to show up to empty rooms and roll around for a couple hours. It's good exercise, but it's a waste of time and resources and whatever, and it's not benefiting anybody. So if I can put that time to better use somewhere else, then that's what I would do. Um, Likewise, sort of the same logistics problem. The sewing machine project um, that I've been working on for the last year or two, where I gather up, I take in a bunch of vintage and antique sewing machines, get them all nice and prettied up, get them run through, checked, fixed, repaired, serviced, cleaned, in working condition, whatever, and then redistribute them through my local thrift store. Um, that's going to also have to come to an end because the parts are just getting they're too expensive, they're too hard to find, and when I do find parts that are appropriate for the machines that I actually need to repair, it's taking way too long for them to get to me to justify keeping all of these machines cluttering up my living space. Uh, and so I'm just drawing the kibosh. I have my machines set aside that are going to be my private collection. I've got others that um, are still in rotation, but I'm not going to bring any more new machines into that project. I'm just going to keep rotating through them until all of the ones that aren't part of my collection or for my own personal use um, out of here and out of the way and off of my mind. Take that pressure off of my shoulders. So that's the updates for any of you that um, have been curious about updates, or if you just don't know the kind of things that I have going on anyway. Mm, I know I have my brow furrowed and I look kind of stern. I'm not angry or anything. I'm just not feeling well. So, oh, for the three of Ewans that are here, how are you doing today? I'm done rambling. I would like to engage with the folks that are here, if such a thing is agreeable, permissible. Ironically, the monologue you just heard was actually intended to be a sign off if nobody came in, and then I started the monologue, and people started showing up. Nobody's talking, so I don't know what to do. I did have to because of YouTube's ongoing fight with my browser. I did have to jump onto Windows Edge to even do this live stream, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like it. I've got to do things I don't want to do just because of the pettiness of people who can really afford to just get over themselves but refuse to do so. Um, So that's another thing that I was starting to not like. I used to be able to do the live streams on Brave browser just fine without any kind of problems, and then I guess their animosity towards each other deepened somewhat, and then uh, the savings get passed on to us. So because of their beef, I can't launch any live streams from my preferred browser. So Bill Gates and whoever else, if you're watching, hey, how's it going? If you guys, if you guys are among the three people that are here, howdy. Thanks for doing what you do to keep things interesting on the internet, I suppose. If you heard that click, my clock's about to chime that it's 7 p.m. And I think when it does, if the live chat doesn't start kicking off, if people aren't going to talk, then that will be the end of this live stream. I didn't have a set length of time in mind, but I think half an hour of me staring at myself and nothing going on in chat uh, will suffice. I don't mean to be rude, but if I'm going to cut out excess and burdensome things that are not helping anybody and doing nothing more than um, adding self-inflicted burdens to my time and energy, then I'm just not going to do them. It's the same thing with the sewing machine project. It's like I could theoretically keep dumping all the time and money into the sewing machine project no matter what happened, just for the sake of saying that, well, I said I was going to do this, so I'm doing this. So I'm being faithful to my word, and then yet just throwing more and more and more resources down a hole that nobody cares about. So if my time with this channel is truly done and it's time to walk away from it, as I am starting to suspect more and more, even just not today, but like just in general, that it is my time to be done with the channel, leave all the content in place, and just walk away from it, then that's what I'll do. But I keep lingering for here and there every once in a while for a little bit for any signs of life that there is still a need for it. Um, but so far, I'm not seeing uh, any such signs. Um, it's just kind of like, like if you say you buy a bunch of high-end stuff, right? And you take it to your thrift store and you donate it so that they can um, make it available to people who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it, right? And you do this pretty regular and you start feeling like you're doing something good, but then you realize that the only people who are going to the thrift store to buy the decent stuff that you're bringing to the thrift store to make available to people who can't afford it otherwise could absolutely afford it otherwise and are just waiting for you to make your next drop so that they can pick the stuff up cheaper that they can buy it in the store out from under the people who would probably love to have the stuff, probably need the stuff, but can't afford it any other way. When you start finding out something like that is going on, then it becomes less, this is what I'm trying to do for other people, and it just becomes heavy and tiring and a burden. So not to be rude or selfish or inconsiderate of anyone, but I don't want there to be multiple areas of my existence where I feel like I'm operating at a deficit for um and not accomplishing the reasons why I would gladly make such a sacrifice if it was having the desired effect for the people it's intended. Um, it's like Jesus tells us in scripture, don't throw your pearls before swine, or they will turn on you and trample you. And that's kind of the thing. Um, not calling anybody here swine, but 7 p.m. But endlessly throwing unappreciated and disrespected resources into a hole uh, for the benefit of people who will never see them. That's I that's wasteful and foolish in my mind, and so I don't like to stay involved in things that prove themselves to be wasteful and foolish. So keeping to my word in the other regard, that I would end this at 7 o'clock if I didn't see anything happening in the chat. Nothing is happening in the chat. I guess according to the clock on my laptop, it's not yet 7. So, well, there we go. So for the three of you, or maybe four of you, because it looked like somebody left and then maybe somebody else came back in or somebody came back in or whatever. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the 2 thumbs up that I see in the top of the window. But I'm already tired and dragging. So this was a good experiment. I'll keep watching this chat or this live stream after it gets published and everything, and I'll see the kind of the response to it, and I will gauge my choices regarding this channel moving forward accordingly. So the next time, if there is the next time, and there very possibly might not be, God be with you. Now there's 4 people here, and I'm about to click the button to end the stream. So, and then they left. So it's time to go. Have a good one. God bless you. No ill will or anything, but I'm running out of time to waste.